Hey guys, Brian Carp, Sales Giant. I don't know if these are on. Let's see if they're on because it might help with audio. Let's see. Those work? All right, let's see if it connects. All right, guys, Brian Carp, Sales Giant, a little millionaire. So I just did an interview, which I wanted to share with you guys. And there was so many good points that were brought up. It was by one of the big media outlets here in Long Island. And there was so many good facts that I gave. I really love doing you a disservice if I didn't make a quick video about it. Now I'm traveling to an appointment, so I wanted to make sure that I capitalized it while I was still fresh in my head. So I was just interviewed about Lake Grove, right? Lake Grove is one of my favorite towns in Suffolk County. The reason they interviewed me is I'm very lucky, but the Brian Carp team has sold the most houses in Lake Grove for over 5 years now. And the zip code of Lake Grove is 11755. Now, they wanted to know why, and ready for the drum roll, please. They wanted to know why the Lake Grove real estate market has gone up 15% year over year. So even though, right, that some of the markets in Suffolk County are starting to level off and tick down, they wanted to know why Lake Grove prices have not just stayed stable, but why prices have gone up. So I dove into a lot of different things. The first thing that I really spoke about was location. So Lake Grove is literally touching Ronkonkoma, right? Ronkonkoma is 11779, and Ronkonkoma is one of the major hubs for transit here in Suffolk County. They have an express train into Manhattan. Don't quote me. I'm going to say it's like an hour and 10 minutes, give or take. Jessica, myself, and the boys have taken it many times to see a Broadway show or to see the Rockettes or just to go and stroll around the city and have dinner. So that, and you guys can go on Google Maps and check it out. I told the interviewer that it's an 8-minute ride. It could even be less, more like 6 minutes. But from Lake Grove to the Ronkonkoma hub is literally a less than 10-minute ride. So that is tremendous because so many people are still going into Manhattan, the boroughs, or even Nassau County. Also, being involved in the $100 million hub project, you know, you have MacArthur Airport, which is right there, and we like to fly out of there all the time. It is literally not even traveling when we go to MacArthur Airport. It's so easy. It's like parking at the mall and then walking to Macy's, right? That's how easy it is. So MacArthur Airport's huge, and they are building and continuing to build these beautiful luxury apartments. So that, I think, is just tremendous. And the downtown is going to be very much Patchogue-esque. When it's done, there's going to be bars, restaurants, hopefully some cool shops. So I think that that is one of the major drivers. Another major driver when we're speaking about location is going to be Lake Grove is also sandwiched from Ronkonkoma on this side and Stony Brook on this side. So Stony Brook is my alma mater for university, but it's also a town, right? So Stony Brook has Stony Brook Hospital, Stony Brook Medicine, Stony Brook University, and my favorite, Stony Brook Athletics, right? So all of that literally is huge, huge drivers for jobs. Also, you have Smith Haven Mall. Now, I'm a Nassau County guy, so when I was growing up, we always went to Roosevelt Field Mall, but once I came out here to play football at Stony Brook, I got introduced to Smith Haven. And I'm going to say over the last 20 years that I've been living out here, give or take, there is so much traffic driving to my next appointment, which is good because I get to catch up with you guys. So I've watched the Lake Grove Mall literally snowball into probably one of the nicest malls, you know, in New York State. So you have Smith Haven Mall, and another big thing, let's go back to Stony Brook. Stony Brook Medicine has taken hundreds, I believe, and maybe even thousands of square footage of the mall for medical, right? So that's just opened up more jobs, right? And, you know, more commerce going on there. So I think it's those three drivers that really, really insulate and has helped the prices of Lake Grove continue to go up. Now, the interviewer asked me about the Village of Lake Grove. I love the Village of Lake Grove. They are so easy to work with. If you're trying to build new construction, it's a pleasure. He also asked me about Lake Grove Village's new ordinance, and don't quote me if that's not the right word, no longer allowing rentals in the village of Lake Grove. And if you guys want more information about that, I have a great video. So I think if you just search Lake Grove Village rentals, that will pop up. Let me just get a sip of water here. So what that did, and he's like, well, Bri, doesn't that lower the amount of purchasers for a certain area? And I said, yes, you would think like that, just like you would think that doubling the interest rates was going to crush the housing market in Suffolk County, and it hasn't done that, right? So you would think that if you no longer allowed buy and hold real estate investors, which Jessica and myself are, to buy in the village, wouldn't that make the prices go down? But it hasn't, because he ran numbers from January, which is when they started the ordinance, all the way until today. And today we're in September. The kids just went back to school and prices are up 15%. And I said, I think why that is they're putting their, foot in the sand, saying, we want people who are owner occupying properties in Lake Grove, and we want to make sure that they take care of them. Now, not to say that a landlord doesn't take care of properties, because Jessica and myself, I want to say our houses are as nice, or sometimes even nicer, than people who live there and physically own the house. But, we could argue about that all day long. So they did that, and it's how prices continue to move up. So just to give you a brief idea, what they did is, no longer can you purchase a house in the village of Lake Grove and rent it out, unless you've owned it for 5 years, like we have, and you're considered to be grandfathered in. Okay. They also got rid of all accessory apartment permits. So you can't get an accessory apartment in the village of Lake Grove. So it's helped bring the prices up, so all of those factors has been, I think, one of the major reasons you're starting to see, the prices continuing to go up. I could just give you an idea of inventory. So I've been in real estate almost 15 years now, and I used to wake up in the morning and I would check the inventory in Lake Grove, and there would be 80 properties on the market. Today, there's 20, right? How insane is that, right? 20 houses. So that, I think, has been a big thing. There's just not enough inventory in this little area. I could also talk to you a little bit about school districts, just because what happens is, when people think Lake Grove, they think it's just one school district, right? Lake Grove encompasses 3 different school districts. So it does Sachem school districts, right? So that is actually where Jessica went to high school, and we lived in Lake Grove for, I don't know, almost a decade before we moved to the next town over. And my boys went to Sachem, love Sachem, big district. They beat us actually in Pee Wee football last year. I'm still sore over that. So in the championship game, it was raining. The referees were terrible. They literally called holding on 2 touchdowns for my kids, but neither here or there. Okay. But great area, Sachem. You also have Middle Country Schools, which is another power district here as well. Just power for football. They have Middle Country has a great football program as well. And then also you have 3 Village, right? And 3 Village is Ward Melville High School. They, I believe, won the championship last year in Pee Wee football. Not Pee Wee football, I'm sorry, in high school football, or at least like the Suffolk County championships. So these are 3 districts that all funnel into Lake Grove. So it's interesting that you have different, districts that fall into one town, where a lot of times you'll just have one district. So, that's another big piece, because people could choose which district they want, but still be in Lake Grove and Lake Grove Village. So that's kind of what we dived into. The only other thing that I mentioned was, you don't have a ton of new construction in Lake Grove. There's just not that much land that is available in Lake Grove. I want to say, and it's because we do mailings to every house in Lake Grove quarterly from the CARP report. I want to say that there's just under 5,000 homes in Lake Grove, right? Give or take. We also, this year, we put an American flag on every single house in Lake Grove. So if you're in Lake Grove and you're watching this, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. But with doing that, you don't have it's not that big, right? So to think about this, if there's 5,000 homes and 20 houses are on the market, that's low, right? As a percentage. And on top of that, new construction, right now a development just went up with 4 homes that are being built. They're not even built yet. They're speccing them. So they're probably still a year out from being completed, but that's a lot, right? For me to see 4 houses, new construction in Lake Grove is really rare. Normally there'd be 1, maybe 2, and that would really be it. It's just because there's not that much undeveloped land in Lake Grove. You know, I've sold a few lots and the builders, they jump all over it. I will, you know, with full transparency, I will tell you that I had a piece of land that I was selling to a bunch of builders in Lake Grove just about a month ago, and a few of them shied away from it. And the reason they shied away from it was they said, well, Bri, if the market tanks and I'm stuck with the new construction, I don't have any other exits than just lowering my price and giving it away because I can't rent it out. Which that is a good factor. You know, I don't know if the village would allow something, you know, above and beyond, but, you know, that was definitely something that stopped, you know, some builders from jumping on the project. So that's really it. If you guys have any questions about Lake Grove or any other of the towns that, you know, we sell a ton of real estate in, please, you know, drop a comment below, or, you know, jump into Google. You can get my email address or cell phone and send me a message. All right. Thanks so much. And hopefully you guys enjoyed this.